I'm going to get to my agenda for today in a minute here. First, I need to start off with our First Lady, Melania Trump's address to the American people, where she's describing the fact that she barely knew Jeffrey Epstein. She had exchanged some emails with Ghislaine Maxwell, but didn't really associate with her. Yeah, I also need to say that Jeffrey Epstein, I didn't associate with him. I've never met the guy. Now, if anybody seriously buys his deleting himself in prison, I've got some swampland here I can make you a deal on. If you buy that, if you buy the described events of his demise. But anyway, on Ghislaine Maxwell, I've never had sex with that woman, but I do find her attractive, and if a situation had presented itself, I might. I believe that she is French, and she could probably teach me a few words in French. I could stand to learn a few words in French. What's the word for oh 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 yeah? Keep doing that. How do you say that in French? If anybody knows, let me know. Tell me how you say that in French. I don't think that's something you can get on was it Berlitz or some of the other language learning apps that are around. I don't think that's included in one of those, or maybe it is. I don't know. I'm sure that's here on YouTube. But just about everything else is here on YouTube. How to say I'm really enjoying this in French or any other language. I'm sure somebody's posted that here on YouTube. Now, let me get to my agenda for today. Now, there's a lady that I've done her work for a number of years. She's asked me to service several of her pieces of property she's got throughout the valley. So, there's two in the East Valley, and there's one in West Phoenix. I'm going to try to get all those. And her house is, well, I'm not going to tell you exactly where her house is at, but it's not in Phoenix. But anyway, I'm going to try to get that tomorrow, try to cover that. But there's several places that I'll probably hit up on the way down there and on the way back as I'm cruising through Phoenix. I'll probably hit up WSM on the way over there because that's just the way my routes kind of work out. But anyway, they're going to have an auction tomorrow. So if you really want some, by the time I post that video, I'm going to post a quick one on my phone just so it's out there, from WSM. If you're interested in anything, go to their website, WSMauctioneers.com. But I said, I'll get down there before they have the May auction because I may have some money by that time. Maybe I can get something broken will go real cheap. You never know. Just auctions are like that. I've seen I've seen nice stuff go for cheap. I remember one vehicle that it looked nice, but it had a really weird color. I said, well, $500 worth of paint will change the color on that thing. Even a couple of rattle cans will change the color. Well, I remember a guy that did a van, and a nice looking van. He did a rattle can job, and you could tell with the rattle can job. But anyway, this particular vehicle had a weird color, and it went for cheap. And I thought, well, if I just needed a thing, if I just had, I think I had the money in my pocket to cover it. I just didn't need it. But I've seen good stuff go for cheap, but I've seen broken stuff go for a lot of money. So it's just the weird nature of auctions. Maybe I can find something broken that maybe it needs a transmission or something. I get it for $500 and slap a transmission in there. That's the beauty of being a gearhead. You can get stuff used cheap that's broken and fix it, and then enjoy the use of it. And if it breaks again, you can fix whatever else breaks on it. That's the beauty of being a gearhead. Let's see, Sarah N. Toon, that's her YouTube channel. She said, "What you talk about the new vehicles that she's comparing the new and the." She said, "If you know how to fix stuff, you can buy anything. You can keep anything rolling if you know how to fix it. If you don't, you're kind of limited on buying new stuff and paying the people to fix it." But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get down to WSM, see what they've got down there. I'll probably post a quick video on my phone, and then I'll post a more lengthy video on my camera, but that won't get posted till tomorrow. By then, most of the vehicles will be gone. Of course, there's stuff that just don't get bid on that will end up for the May auction. If I see something broken, it's still down there for the May auction. I'll have some money by that time, and maybe I can bid on something, or maybe I'll find something nice for the summertime. I want something older that's four-wheel drive that I can take into the back desert places, the back woodsy places, maybe crawl up into the Bradshaws and hit up some of those gold claims. the BLM, the GPA gold claims. I'd like to renew my GPA membership and hit up some of those claims. If some chick is just needs a guy to go along with her to help her run a particular, mining operation. Maybe maybe your old man, maybe you and your old man did that, and the old man is no longer around, and you just need a guy to go with you. You know where the secret spots are to find the gold. Hey, you can swear me to secrecy. I'll use it myself, but I'm not going to tell anybody else. If you tell me that you don't want me to share your particular spot that does have the gold in there, you got to know though. That's one thing you got to work some of those claims to know where those spots are that have like the particular bend in a stream that has the cache of gold in there. That's where you find gold. Or there's out against the bedrock. There's little tricks that the miners that people that do the placer gold mining figure out. Now, when I hit up several places in the East Valley, I'll get videos from on top of those roofs. I've got videos from when I've been on those roofs a few times. There's I may get I'll probably go back and forth across where the San Carlos is at. That's that super haunted motel in downtown Phoenix. That place has been there like 120 years. That place goes back to the pioneering days of Phoenix. What I'll probably do is park it at there's a Goodwill down there about Third Avenue and Van Buren. I'll probably pull in that parking lot. I can park down there for free and walk over to in front of the San Carlos. Of course, I may save that for another time because I may get tired after I've done a few things in downtown Phoenix and just want to head home. Now I'm gonna let's see. The mining museum is like it was on 15th Avenue and Washington or Jefferson or Van Buren, somewhere down there. Now that's a real cool place. I'll probably just pick a particular day and go down and when I'm not doing anything and get some of these places in downtown Phoenix just so I can take a whole day doing it. I want to get like there's a monument down there to the USS Arizona. The USS Arizona was sunk. And, that's Facebook, I think. But anyway, Arizona was sunk in at Pearl Harbor at the beginning of World War II. The anchor's down there, and there's a few plaques and stuff. Excuse me. There's a few plaques dedicated to the USS Arizona down by the state capitol. I made a video down there where I'm standing next to the anchor for the Arizona, but I posted that on Facebook. That's been 5 or 6 years ago. I haven't got anything here on YouTube, from that. I definitely need to post a few things. This is a few of the things in downtown Phoenix. Now I'll probably hit up the IRS building, it's like on Central around Earl down in there. I want to get some forms, some of the, so I can do my taxes. Now there's something I tried to find a couple years ago. Now these are hard to find. Now I wanted to get the forms to file for moral bankruptcy. Now moral bankruptcy is kind of hard to get the forms because last time I checked, all the politicians, all the lawyers they'd already used up all the forms to file for moral bankruptcy. So the forms are just really hard really hard to get. But sometime I wanted to try to see if I could file for moral bankruptcy. It's a little bit different than financial bankruptcy. But anyway, the forms for that are really, really hard to find. Like I said, the politicians and lawyers have already used up all the forms in filing for moral bankruptcy. Now, I need to figure out where that that house with the Winnie Ruth Judd house. Now, I've covered her a number of times because she's a very interesting piece of Arizona history. This is back in the 1930s. Now, they call her the trunk murderess. The house where those three ladies, well, let's say they were all drunk. They were arguing over a particular guy. And let's say Winnie Ruth Judd was the winner, if you can call it that, because they were going to hang her for the murders, and then they declared her mentally insane. I've covered that story a few times, but anyway, she spent the next 30, 40 years in the state mental hospital. But governor back in the 70s pardoned her, and she spent the rest of her life as a maid for a couple in California. Very, very interesting story. If you are curious, search Winnie Ruth Judd, and that story will come up. It's here on YouTube. It's an obscure piece of Arizona history. the Trunk Murderers. That house is down there. The San Carlos is down there. They're not that far. They're not that far apart, really. The old Westwood Hole. Sometime I might just walk past that place, and I don't. That's not one of those places that people talk about being haunted. Another one of those hotels down there that have been there forever, and you figure if any place in South Central Phoenix is gonna be haunted, it's probably that Westwood Hole. It was a hotel down there for a long time. It's been converted to like housing for. It was. I don't know what it is now. It was for like for old guys, just a retirement home for old guys. But I don't know if that's still the case or not. Let's see what else I got to cover. Yeah, that's probably my agenda for today. I hit up the Costco there on 33rd Indian School because I won't be too far from there either. There's another place. Betty had asked me to check. It's on the west side. She asked me to check something over there, so I won't be too far from my Costco. I may hit those up. I may know the West Tech. Yeah, I may head up West Tech. I may not. I'll hit up West Tech sometime during the summertime. It's a resale electronics because it's known by both names, West Tech or resale electronics. They sell it's mainly computers like old laptops, various pieces of surplus electronic equipment. They also take your e-waste if you've got old junk like a CRT. Of course, they actually charge you to take a CRT type TV. Last time I checked, they wanted $20 or something to take an old CRT type TV. I said, well, hell with that. I just gave it to Goodwill. But that Goodwill deal with it. They probably just tossed it. Anyway, das Leben ist ein Abenteuer. Das Leben ist nicht einfach. And c'est la vie. Ciao and auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. For that French tick, you can teach me how to say au revoir. Ciao and das Verstania. Viva con Dios. I got the ones I speak. Kind of. Bye. My phone screen is messed up. I have a hard time hitting the button.